estate in the town, the Ark Community Centre has also seen a rise in demand.
With inflation at its highest point in 40 years, providing the basics for your family has never been harder. Well, our reporter Amelia Beckett is at the Ark Centre. Amelia, what sort of help is being offered there?
There's a range of help being offered here, Lara. This centre was built around 4 years ago, and it's at the heart of the community here, which is one of the most deprived in the whole of North Lincolnshire. And people can bring their children for free activities, they can seek job support, they can come to this cafe for a cheaper tea or coffee. And it was actually here that around 40 people came yesterday for a free trip to Scunthorpe, which is a luxury that many of us just can't afford at the moment. But I've been speaking to people here who say, actually, it's not just the luxuries they're cutting back on anymore, it's necessities. They're making some really difficult choices as they struggle to make ends meet.
Hi, I'm Tammy Revell, I'm 32, I'm a mother of 2 children and I work in the community.
Hi, I'm Luke, I'm 35 and I work in retail.
Hi, my name's Anne Elliott. I am 68 years of age and I am retired.
Hello, I'm April, I'm 30, I have 2 children, I do my degree at UCNL and I work 2 days at the Ark here.
4 people who all call the Westcliff Estate home. 4 people with 4 very different lives, but now all facing the biggest squeeze to incomes in 50 years.
Everyone's struggling, Prince to Pauper, we're all struggling.
Exactly.
We joined them in the estate's community hub known as the Ark. Built in 2018, it's a lifeline for many, needed now more than ever.
My electric went out the other day and I sat and I cried. My electric has never run out, ever. But I hadn't realised just how much extra I had used with it being the summer holidays with having children at home.
Tammy is a support worker. She worked throughout the pandemic caring for vulnerable people. Her partner works full-time at the steelworks. They also have 2 children, one with extra needs. But Tammy's had to up her hours just to make ends meet.
I can't afford many treats. I have to work that little bit extra if I want to get my kids a treat. But there's no holidays, there's no day trips, unless it's a free one. But then you've got to think of fuel. Sometimes my weekly wage, half of it's gone straight on fuel.
Tammy is paid just above minimum wage at £9.57 an hour, but the combination of hers and her partner's incomes means she's not eligible for extra help.
If I was on universal credits, even as a top-up, I would get help. I would get a lot more help. I'd get free school meals, I'd get help with this, help with that, help with the other. I get nothing. If it wasn't for my child's disability money, we wouldn't make ends meet each month. We really wouldn't.
As a single mum at university, April does qualify for some government support. She's studying social science with dreams of becoming a prison officer. But now that childcare costs are soaring, she's considering lowering her job aspirations just so she can look after her children.
The job's going to have to fit towards my kids. I'm going to lose money just by putting them first to get them from school, to take them to school myself. So it's going to be a lot of hard work, I think, and juggling them two to get into the position that I want and the job where I can do it all. It'll just take time.
April and Tammy haven't seen price hikes like this in their lifetimes. Inflation has now reached the highest level in 40 years at 10.1%. It's now so high that the real value of pay has fallen by 3%, with one of the biggest drivers being the rising cost of food. The weekly shop is now set to go up by more than £10.
When you go shopping, I look for the cheaper items.
Anne is living off a state pension. She runs bingo sessions at the Ark, but her numbers aren't adding up. This year, the government suspended the triple lock scheme, meaning her pension hasn't risen in line with inflation. It's been reinstated for 2023, but this year Anne's income will have gone up by around £300, while average energy bills have already risen by around £700.
A lot of people in my position, like other pensioners, you struggle because the money's not coming in for the higher bills that are going out. So somewhere along the line you've got to cut off. But then you think, well, what are you going to save money on? It's not covering it, and it won't cover it. It never will.
Are you worried?
To be honest with you, at my age, at the moment, I'm coping. But that's not got to say that in a couple of months down the line, I'm not going to be struggling.
The government has announced £37 billion of support this year, targeted at those who are most in need. But no further announcements will be made until we have our next Prime Minister, meaning decisions that could make or break people's lives are still weeks away.
Some tough times there. Amelia, the centre there is run by the Housing Association, isn't it? So what are they doing to help people during this difficult time?
Yes, it's run by Ongo Housing Association, and they have around 10,000 homes across the region. Now, they're urging people to please get in touch if they're worried about rent payments. They work alongside organisations such as Citizens Advice to support people as much as they can. But they did tell me the cost of living crisis is affecting them as well, so they will be putting rents up in April, which of course will be worrying for many to hear. Now, the government told us that we recognise people are struggling with rising prices, which is why we're protecting millions of the most vulnerable families with at least £1,200 of direct payment, starting with the £326 cost of living payment, which has already been issued to more than 7 million low-income households. But we know they won't be making any new announcements before we get the next Prime Minister. And you heard in my report, inflation has hit the highest level in 40 years, but it's thought that could rise even further by 13% by October.
Amelia in Scunthorpe for us, thank you. Still to come in the programme.